Hi everyone, welcome to Principles of Marketing class. In the last class we have learnt about evolution of marketing, where we have understood right from the time once when there was nothing or no concept of marketing to the age what we are today. And we could able to see how beautifully the business has transformed and reached today's stage of marketing, where we could able to see that right from production there was a shift in product, in marketing, and later today we are at the era where artificial intelligence is being integrated into the activities of marketing. Now today let us try to understand what are the different approaches to study marketing. While studying marketing, we have many perspectives using which we can view this marketing, where looking at marketing from different angles, we have many perspectives or different angles through which we can view this marketing as various approaches. Using different lenses, see things more clearly. It is like trying to understand the activities of marketing using different lenses. That means trying to understand in detail the aspects of marketing, where what all is being embedded in this marketing. Now studying a specific product closely, while studying this marketing, we are trying to understand closely about a specific product, and we are trying to understand how it is made, sold and used. Now how the products are made, how the products are sold, how the products are being used while making the product, what are the considerations of the company and how do they sell and how does that makes the consumer to purchase. Now breaking down marketing into different jobs, where while the entire activity, if we look at right from understanding consumers till reaching product to the consumers, what are the different aspects which are involved in that, those are to be broken down and are to be understood. And looking at different companies involved, what are here, though production is being done by one company, but behind that there are many other companies which are involved. Company which is supplying raw materials, company which is supplying semi-finished goods, company which is producing, then company which is transporting the goods, which is storing, again warehouses, and then there are wholesalers, retailers, dealers, distributors, and many things like retailers, then it reaches consumers. Then looking at different companies which are involved is also needed for us. Then happening around the product, now though product is being sold to consumers, but by the time consumers are consuming this product, there are many happening around them, like the economic changes are going to change, legal aspects are changing quite now and then, and cultural aspects are there in the presence of which products are being consumed. Now all these act as toolkit for the marketers to understand from various perspectives how this marketing is being executed, and in the presence of which marketing are to be understood. Now to see the whole picture in a better way, we need to understand different approaches of marketing. Let us try to understand what are those different approaches using which this marketing can be understood. Now to begin with, let us try to understand commodity approach. Now as we know the meaning of commodity, the basic commodities which are being sold. Now analysis of specific products are specific commodities with market context. Within this marketing context, how these commodities, for example, like maybe staple food, maybe products, how they are, for example, like if they are agricultural produce, how agricultural produce are being produced, how products are being produced, how they are consumed, using a particular commodity, company needs to understand. Then understanding the life cycle of the product from its creation to its consumption. For example, like agricultural produce, where all that particular agricultural produce is being grown, how do they grow, what is the process of this growing, how much time does it take, how do they process further, everything are to be understood to arrive at the marketing decisions. Now for example, if we take smartphones, when did this smartphone originated? Now what is the stage that they have reached today? What are the transformations that have happened? What are the different life cycles, if we look at the product has entered into, how it was looking at the introduction stage, how it is now in the growth stage, what is right now currently, what are the different technologies which are being involved in the production of smartphone, right from production of the product till consumption. Today we look at how consumers are thinking about the product, how they are consuming. Product by product, company need to understand each from based on product, there is an approach for the company to understand about the marketing aspect of the product. Now then we have functional approach. As the very name it is indicating, different functions are being viewed in this approach. Now the activity of the marketing is broken down into distinct functions or activities which are essential in achieving organizational goal. Organization goal can be anything like profit maximization, sales maximization, or they may have target of achieving so much for the next year. Now it can be anything, organizational goals can be anything, but to achieve that particular goal, whatever the marketing activity an organization is doing, that has to be broken down into many pieces or distinct functions, and that has to be viewed. Now functions, for example, like product development is there, pricing, promotion, all the activities which are involved in marketing are being viewed as different functions, like production. After producing the product, how various product components are being viewed, how do they package, how do they label it, how do they grade it, what is that right pricing methodology, how do they promote the product, what are the different methods of promotion being adopted, and what are the distribution aspects, how this product is being distributed from its point of manufacturing to the point of consumption. All those with a different functional approach are to be understood. Now for example, a company adopting function meticulously study each marketing function to optimize effectively and overall performance with efficiency. Now a company which has adopted this approach has to understand meticulously what are those different functions which are being done inside the company, and how efficiency in the activity of whatever the functions is, and how to enhance the efficiency, because of which performance is increasing, quality is increasing, time consumption is reducing, cost is being reduced, where overall efficiency is increasing for that particular functional aspects of the marketing function. Now hence different functional approaches are to be understood, and these different functional approaches are to be viewed, are to be realized, then only they will be able to come up with better efficient functional aspects. Then institutional approach. Now what are the different institutions which are involved in the activity of marketing has to be understood, wherein this institutional approach, it examines marketing through various institutions involved in marketing process, such as manufacturers, wholesalers, retailers, and advertising agencies. In the marketing activity itself, different institutions which are integrated to the activity of the marketing are to be approached in this particular approach, where this institution, what are those different institutions involved, how do they involve to the activities of the organization, and then how do they come up with their efficient activity, so that the efficiency of the entire marketing process happens. All those are to be understood. Then its search into the roles, functions, and interactions of these institutions within the broader marketing system. Now what it is doing, searching into the roles, each institution, for example, like if we take wholesalers, if we take retailers, what are their functions? Now when is the chance or moment of interaction is going to happen, and within that organization what are the activities done, how that integration of that institution happens with this marketing activity of the organization, that has to be understood. For example, the institution approach would be analyzing how retailers contribute to distribution and promotion of the products. Now when it comes for promotion, most of the time organization is one which designs the promotional aspects, and retailers, how do they cooperate to the promotional aspect? For example, like if at all a company is thinking of coming up with campaigns at the retailer's outlet, how do they accept that campaign, how do they react to that, how do they showcase the products, how do they give their space for this campaigning activity? All those are the part of institutional approach, and from this institutional approach, company will be able to analyze different institutions which are involved and their contribution to the activity of the marketing. Then we have a system approach. In system approach, it views marketing as holistic system where different elements interact and influence each other, and it recognizes that marketing activities are interconnected and interdependent, and as the very name it is indicating system, marketing is a process where this process happens across the system. All different elements of the systems are being viewed together holistically. Once when at all the ends activities are synchronized, then a best marketing effort is going to emerge. Hence, in systems approach, marketing is viewed as system, not as individual function. For example, when studying a marketing campaign, a system approach considers how advertising, distribution and customer feedback are interconnected with the impact that overall success of the organization. For example, like if a campaign had to be launched, now before the campaign, advertisements would have been released by the organization. Distribution would have done its duty of distributing the product to the nearest outlet of the consumers. Now, the feedback which consumers are giving, that means the product is good product, bad product, or product, which is slowly that they are accepting or whatever. Now, all these, how does it impact at the time once when these campaigns are being launched? At the time of launch of campaign, how does this advertisement distribution and the word of mouth feedback, which we call as the word of mouth, how does that impact on the success of the campaign to a particular company? Now, before this campaign, advertisement distribution and word of mouth would have helped the organization in creating positive impact at the time of this campaign which is being launched by the organization. Now, as a systems approach, earlier activity in the system affects the later activity which we call as campaign. Then environmental approach. Of course, marketing is being executed in a particular environment, and the impact of that environment on the activities of the organization are to be viewed. The environmental approach acknowledges the external factors that shapes the influence of marketing strategies. There are external factors. The organization marketing is executing in the presence of external factors, like there is legal environment, there is cultural environment, there is technological environment, social environment. Within that environment, organization is executing one of its functions called marketing. Then how does these functions affect the marketing activity are to be understood by the company. For example, like company adopting environmental approach might analyze how cultural trends or technological advancements impact consumer preferences and buying behavior. Let us take a fashion apparel. On a fashion apparel, certainly the change in the trend is going to affect the old trend apparel cannot be sold further. For example, like mobile handset, in which if at all it is not really inculcating the new features or it is not developing new features which are happening in the technological environment, that particular company is falling behind, where competitors are going to use that particular technology in their product, and their products are looking more attractive than that particular company's product. Hence, adoption according to the environment, adopting the environmental aspects or responding to the environmental aspects at the time of development of marketing strategy is most important to the organization. Hence, company needs to understand even from the perspective of the environment while developing marketing strategies. Then managerial approach. Now, executing this activity of marketing is nothing but managerial activity which is being done. The managerial approach focuses on decision making process within marketing management. There are various decision making stages are there in the organization when it comes for marketing management. Now, in this approach, consideration is being given for how decisions are being made by marketing people who are involved in, and it involves studying how managers plan, organize, control marketing activities to achieve organizational objectives. While achieving the organizational objectives, managers are trying to come with lot of strategic aspects. Managers are trying to come with lot of strategies. Now, how these different strategies are being pursued by the managers and how do they consider different aspects or information at the time of planning, and while organizing different information to arrive at one conclusion, and while creating control on the activities of the marketing. Now, it views the entire activity of marketing as a managerial approach, where more of managerial skill helps marketing managers to manage the activities well. Now, for instance, Marketing manager using managerial approach might make decisions on budget allocation for advertising or set pricing strategies based on market analysis. Now, manager, while allocating his various financial aspects, how he is trying to consider different activities, how does he make the allocation of funds for various activities in the organization. Again, it needs managerial capability to the individual who is involved in marketing activity. Now, economic approach. The economic approach to marketing involves analyzing marketing activities through economic principles. There are in economics we have a lot of principles. Analyzing marketing activities through these economic principles are to be done so that how these different economic approaches are affecting the organization are to be understood. Now, for example, an economic approach would explore how changes in supply chain or shift in consumer demand affect pricing and marketing competition. Now, changes in the supply chain, whatever changes which is happening in the supply chain, suddenly there is a retrospective effect on the demand. For example, like once when there is scarcity, there is no availability of the product, that affects the price increases. How do they manage such situations? Even from the perspective of economic aspects also, marketing managers are supposed to understand the activities. Hence, even marketing can be understood in the form of economic approach. Then the legal approach. The legal approach to marketing concentrates on legal aspects and regulations governing marketing activities. Now, the entire activity are being done, this marketing activity are being done in the purview of the legal system in the country. Then how does those different laws affect, what are the rules and regulations which are to be followed, and what are such rules and regulations which are favorable to the organization that are to be considered, are to be complied with. Then only consumers can feel that they are being protected, they are being taken care, and then only organization feels that their intellectual property right is being kept intact. None of the copycat marketers could able to threaten them or could able to snatch their consumers towards them, or such protections are being given through these legal aspects of the legal arrangement of the country. Now, how these different legal approaches are being viewed, considered by the marketing department for its various activities are also to be understood. For example, a company adopting legal approach would ensure that its marketing practices adhere to data protection laws when collecting and using customer information. Now, while collecting customer information, let us say marketing research, and while using that customer information, how is that they are adhering to the data protection law, so that within the purview of that data protection law, they are executing the activities, they are executing the research, and they are arriving at conclusion. Now, these approaches collectively provide a comprehensive framework for understanding multifaceted nature of marketing. Marketing, as we know, it is multifaceted. Now, this multifaceted marketing can be approached with the framework of all these approaches. Now, offering insights into different aspects and perspectives that shape marketing strategies and decisions. Now, these different approaches are offering insights. Now, using those insights, different aspects or perspectives can be considered, using which marketing strategies can be shaped or designed, or decisions can be taken by the managers or the people in marketing department. Now, researchers and practitioners often draw from multiple approaches to gain a thorough understanding of this complex and dynamic field of marketing. What do they do? All these different approaches are being considered. It is not that marketing is viewed from one particular approach. Many different approaches are being taken into consideration, are being viewed for better, smoother functioning of the marketing activity inside the organization. Thank you very much for listening different approaches of marketing.